Listen carefully, God says. Last night your person broke down before their friends and cried, and said, "Listen, I am a soul who is lost without them." My child, I saw every tear that fell from their eyes. The world may not have seen it. Their friends might have tried to comfort them with laughter, or hide the trembling in their voice, but I saw it all. When they bowed their head, when their hearts shook in silence, when they confessed that they cannot carry the weight anymore, my eyes were there. I saw the cracks in their pride. I saw the battle between their ego and their love for you. They tried to act strong for so long. They told themselves they didn't need you. They told others they were fine, that they had moved on, that life was better this way. But last night, that wall broke. In the quiet of their heart, the truth escaped. They confessed that they miss you more than they can explain. They told their friends, "I can't pretend anymore." And when those words left their lips, the atmosphere around them changed. Even heaven paused to listen, because I, the Lord your God, had been waiting for that moment. You see, my child, I allowed their heart to reach that breaking point. Not to punish them, but to awaken them. Because pride had blinded them. Fear had silenced them. Guilt had chained them. And I knew that only through the trembling of tears could truth be born again. They cried because they finally faced themselves. They realized they had hurt someone pure. They realized that the person who prayed for them, cared for them, and loved them with a love that asked for nothing in return, was the one they pushed away. When they said, "I am a soul lost without them," they were not just talking about you. They were realizing the distance between their heart and me. For every time they turned from you, they turned from my teaching. Every time they rejected love, they rejected a reflection of my grace. But now their heart is soft again. Now they are beginning to feel. And though their friends could not understand the depth of their tears, I understood. Because those tears were not of sadness alone, they were the beginning of repentance. I need you to understand something tonight. This breakdown was not random. It was divine timing. It was me stepping into the chambers of their soul and stirring what they had buried. I have been working behind the scenes. I have been speaking through their dreams, through sudden memories, through moments they could not explain. Every time they thought of you without reason, every time a song reminded them of what was lost, every time silence made them restless, it was me whispering, "Wake up." Last night, they could no longer ignore it. Their own words betrayed the mask they had worn for months. And in that moment, the truth escaped their lips because I loosened their tongue. I removed the strength of pretense and allowed their heart to speak. My spirit surrounded them, and for the first time, they did not run. They let the tears fall. And as those tears touched the ground, something broke in the unseen world. The walls that pride had built began to crumble. You may not have heard their cry, but heaven did. You may think they are still far, but I tell you, their soul turned toward you last night in a way it never has before. And I, the Lord, heard their confession as a prayer. Because when the heart cries truth, even if no prayer is spoken, I listen. Do not mistake their silence today for indifference. They are processing what I revealed to them. They are walking through the valley of realization. They are seeing the truth about themselves, the selfishness, the fear, the immaturity, the pride. They are finally seeing that what they thought was control was really a cage. And though their friends may have comforted them, none of them could heal what only I can touch. You have been patient, my child. You have wept silently, too. You have wondered if they ever felt anything real. You questioned if their heart ever broke the way yours did. But now, I tell you, yes, it has. Not in the same way, but deeply enough that it has reached me. I have seen your prayers for them. I have heard you say, Lord, just open their eyes. Last night, I began to answer that prayer. But hear me, this is not the end of the process. Their confession was the doorway, not the destination. I am leading them into awareness, humility, and surrender. They will face memories that ache. They will see the pain they caused you, and they will not be able to hide from it. They will replay moments in their mind, and each one will teach them how love is sacred, not to be toyed with. Do not rush what I am doing. Let my timing unfold. You may not see messages, apologies, or gestures right away, but something has already shifted in the spirit. When I move in the heart, I move quietly but powerfully. Just as the tide returns after retreating, their soul is turning back toward you, but not through human effort. Through my divine orchestration. And as I bring them to their knees in realization, I am also lifting you up in preparation. Because this journey is not about them alone. It is about you, too. You have learned to love without condition. You have learned to pray even when ignored. You have learned to stay humble when hurt. And that love, that grace, that patience, it has not gone unnoticed by me. It has reached heaven. When you cried for them, I collected your tears. When you forgave them, even when they didn't deserve it, I wrote it down in the book of remembrance. You became a vessel of my compassion. That is why I chose you to be the mirror that awakens their soul. You showed them my kind of love, a love that does not give up, even when misunderstood. Last night was the beginning of their awakening. But I need you to guard your heart, for their return may not be immediate, and their change will take time. The emotions that erupted in them were real, but healing is a process. You must stay rooted in me, not in their timing. Because while I work on their heart, I am also perfecting yours. I am shaping you into someone who can love from strength, not from need. You see, what they said before their friends, I am a soul lost without them, was the sound of realization, not manipulation. It came from the depths of conviction, not from desire for control. They were not trying to win sympathy, they were finally telling the truth. For so long, they carried pride as armor, but pride has now cracked under the weight of truth. And I will use that truth. I will lead them into encounters that remind them of what they lost. I will bring signs that point them back to the place of honesty. They will begin to notice your presence even when you are silent. They will feel your absence as a wound that won't heal. And in that longing, they will seek me. Because this is not only a story of reunion between two hearts, it is a story of redemption between a lost soul and their Creator. You have wondered why I didn't stop them from leaving, why I didn't intervene sooner. But I needed to let them taste emptiness. Because only when they felt the absence of true love could they recognize its value. You were not a punishment, you were a blessing they couldn't yet handle. So I took you away, not to hurt them, but to heal them. And now, as they break down and cry, I am softening their heart to receive what they once rejected. Do not despise the process. Let me be God in this. Do not take matters into your own hands. If you reach out now from impatience, you may interrupt the transformation I began. Let my Spirit complete the work. When the time is right, I will align everything: conversation, timing, and peace. But for now, just know that the tears they shed last night were the first sign of a heart returning home. And you, my beloved, must continue to walk in light. Do not let bitterness take root. Pray for them with compassion, not anger. See their pain as proof that my conviction is real. They are fighting a battle between guilt and hope, and your prayers will strengthen the side of hope. Every time you whisper their name in prayer, light enters their darkness. Last night, they cried out of sorrow. But in the coming nights, they will cry out for mercy. And when that happens, I will meet them where they are. I will show them who I am. I will remind them of the love they once felt through you, the love that came from me. This story is not over. What you think was an ending was only a pause. I am rewriting it. Not for entertainment, not for ego, but for purpose. Because through this connection, I am teaching both of you the meaning of unconditional love. And when I restore, I do not restore halfway. I heal completely. So rest tonight. Trust that I am near. When your mind wanders, remember this: the one who cried last night is being remade in my hands. Their confession has reached heaven. Their heart has begun to change. What you cannot see, I am already doing. And soon, what was lost will be found in the light of truth. My beloved child, while you slept and wondered if they even thought of you anymore, I was standing in the midst of their storm. I watched as the strength they built around their heart melted into tears. They could not stop the shaking in their hands. Their friends looked at them with confusion, not knowing what to say, not understanding that this was not just a human moment, this was a divine moment. It was the collision of pride and truth. It was the meeting of brokenness and grace. They said, "I am a soul lost without them," and their friends laughed softly, tried to lighten the mood, tried to tell them it was just a phase, that time would heal. But I, the Lord, silenced every other voice in that moment. I made sure that even if no one else took them seriously, those words would echo inside their heart like thunder. Because I needed them to hear their own confession and feel its weight. I needed them to know that they were not just missing a person, they were missing the one who carried my light into their life. You were not an ordinary presence to them. You were my messenger wrapped in human form. Through you, I showed them patience, forgiveness, and unconditional love. You loved them in a way that exposed their wounds. You cared for them in a way that made them uncomfortable, because deep down, they knew they didn't deserve it. That love was too pure for their broken understanding of love. They didn't know how to handle it, so they ran. They tried to replace it with distraction, with others, with noise. But nothing could fill the space that your love once occupied. Because it wasn't just you, it was me, shining through you. That is why their tears last night were not only about losing you, they were about losing my presence that came through you. They didn't know it, but they were grieving the absence of divine connection. They thought it was just nostalgia, but it was my spirit awakening their soul to what they truly lost. And my child, as they broke down, heaven watched with mercy. Angels gathered near, for they recognized that this was the turning point. The moment a proud heart begins to melt is the moment transformation begins. You have prayed, Lord, make them see. And now, they are beginning to see. They are seeing what they had, what they lost, and who they became. They are realizing that love is not weakness. That vulnerability is not failure. That tears are not shameful. They are realizing that the world taught them to hide, to fight, to run, but love teaches you to stay, to forgive, to try again. And last night, when they cried, they were shedding years of emotional armor. Each tear carried a truth they had buried: I loved them. I hurt them. I need them. I miss them. I still care. And I, your God, did not let those tears fall in vain. Every drop was a seed for healing. I am using their pain to rebuild their character. I am using their confession to open their heart to redemption. They thought their story with you was over, but I am rewriting it in the background. Do not doubt me, beloved. I know what I'm doing. You may think you've been forgotten, but in truth, I am positioning you. I am refining you through silence and refining them through tears. And when both hearts have learned what I intend, I will bring them back into alignment, not as broken versions of themselves, but as transformed souls who can finally love from a healed place. When they cried last night, they remembered your kindness. They remembered the nights you stayed awake just to make sure they were okay. They remembered the times you listened even when they were unkind. They remembered the patience, the loyalty, the quiet prayers. They remembered how you looked at them, not with judgment, but with belief. And that memory burned in their chest because they realized they pushed away something rare, something real. They told their friends, you don't understand. I messed up something good. And though their friends tried to comfort them, the words felt empty. Because the truth was ringing louder than any comfort could quiet. They were not crying because of regret alone, they were crying because they finally saw your worth. And I tell you this as your God, they are about to enter a season of awakening. They will feel your presence in places where you are not. They will see you in their dreams. They will hear your name in unexpected moments. They will feel a pull toward you they cannot explain. That is me, drawing them closer, reminding them of what love truly means. But listen to me, my beloved child, do not chase them. Do not run after what I am already leading back to you. The same hand that separated you is the same hand preparing reunion. And I do not make mistakes. If I took you apart, it was to rebuild both of you in my order, not in the way the world builds love. Your person's tears last night were not a sign of weakness, they were a sign of my spirit moving. They finally reached the point where they could not hide from the truth any longer. And even though they tried to laugh it off after, even though they wiped their face and said, I'm fine, the truth remains written in their spirit. They are not fine without you, because the love you gave them came from me. You have asked me many times, Lord, will they ever understand what I felt? And tonight, I answer you, they are beginning to. Slowly, painfully, beautifully. They are realizing that what they lost was not ordinary affection, it was divine connection. They are realizing that they mistook your softness for weakness, your forgiveness for foolishness, your loyalty for simplicity. But now, they see. They see that it takes great strength to love like you did. It takes divine courage to stay pure in a world that rewards indifference. Do not let resentment touch your heart. I know the temptation to say, "Why now, Lord? Why after all this time?" But my child, I make everything beautiful in its appointed season. They had to fall before they could rise. They had to cry before they could understand joy. They had to lose you to see your value. And while they were breaking down, I was whispering into their spirit, "Go back. Make it right. Find the one who never stopped loving you." But they are still wrestling. Their mind is filled with fear, fear of rejection, fear of what others will say, fear that it's too late. That is why I need you to remain calm, grounded, and patient. Because soon, my hand will move again, and you will see signs that what I promised is unfolding. You will notice changes in their behavior. You will sense a softness in their energy. You will feel their heart reaching out to you even without words. You may feel waves of emotion that are not your own, it is their spirit connecting with yours through the unseen. When that happens, pray. Pray that my will be done. Pray that pride does not win again. Pray that this time, love is guided by wisdom. They are walking through a wilderness of their own making. They are learning that false freedom leads to emptiness. They are realizing that what they called independence was actually loneliness. They are beginning to crave peace, not chaos. Connection, not distraction. And that is my doing. I am breaking the patterns that once bound them. When they said to their friends, "I am a soul lost without them," they spoke prophecy without knowing it. Because that confession opened the door for my spirit to begin restoration. That was the first time in a long time they spoke truth over themselves. And I take truth seriously. When a heart finally admits what it feels, I begin to rebuild. But you, my beloved, must not lose sight of me in the waiting. Do not let your emotions rule you. Do not sit in sorrow. Stand in faith. Because while they cried last night, I was also releasing something over you: strength, renewal, peace. I am not just working on them, I am preparing you for what's ahead. You have asked me to bring them back, but I am asking you, when they do return, will you still be ready to love from purity and not from pain? Will you let go of the past fully? Will you forgive without bitterness? Because the restoration I plan will require hearts that have healed. I cannot pour new wine into old wineskins. Both of you must be transformed. And that transformation is happening now. You are healing from abandonment, they are awakening from blindness. You are learning trust again, they are learning humility again. You are both being prepared for divine partnership, not human attachment. Last night was the beginning. The shaking of their pride was the sound of chains breaking. Their tears were not the end, they were the cleansing of a new start. I will use those tears to water the seeds of truth that have been planted deep inside them. In time, those seeds will grow into courage, apology, redemption, and love. But remember this, do not idolize them. They are not your savior. I am. Their love is not your purpose, my love is. Their return will be a blessing, but your peace must remain anchored in me, not in them. Because I am the one who writes this story, and I am the one who holds its outcome. Trust me, my child. What you saw as distance was protection. What you saw as rejection was redirection. And what you see now, their tears, their confession, is restoration beginning. I am moving pieces you cannot see. I am aligning hearts, emotions, and timing. I am healing both of you for something greater than you imagined. So lift your head. Breathe. And know that the one who cried last night is on a path that leads back, not just to you, but to me. Because I am the God who restores broken hearts, revives lost love, and brings beauty out of ashes. My beloved child, the story I am weaving is not one of sorrow, but of redemption. What I began in tears, I will finish in glory. Last night was not a collapse, it was a beginning. It was the moment the walls around your person's heart started to fall, and the truth they had buried began to rise. You may not have seen it, but heaven rejoiced. Angels whispered, "It has begun." Because when a hardened heart cries, the chains of pride break. When a soul admits its emptiness, grace enters. And though their words were simple, "I am a soul lost without them," those words carried the weight of awakening. They did not know it, but they were calling for me. They were calling for truth. They were calling for home. Child, you must know that my love never stops pursuing. I do not abandon the lost, I guide them back through their tears. Their crying was not weakness, it was me breaking through the silence that pride built. They were not confessing to their friends as much as they were confessing to their own spirit. And while they thought their friends were just listening, I was the one they were really talking to. I heard their voice tremble. I felt their regret. And in that moment, I covered them with mercy. Because I am not a God who shames, I am a God who restores. Their tears were not punishment, they were preparation. Their breakdown was not despair, it was an awakening. But hear me, beloved one, as I speak to your heart, this awakening is not instant. Healing takes time. There are wounds within them that I must touch one by one. There are lies they believed about love, about themselves, about me, and I am dismantling them slowly. I will not rush this, because true transformation cannot be rushed. But trust this, I have already begun. You have carried pain that few understand. You gave your all to someone who could not yet see your worth. You were the vessel I chose to show them love's reflection. When they pushed you away, they pushed away a piece of my light. But do not mourn what seemed like loss, for what was once rejected will one day be remembered as sacred. Last night's tears were a whisper from heaven saying, "It's time. Time for them to grow. Time for them to awaken. Time for both hearts to rise from the ashes. I am the Lord who turns mourning into joy. And just as surely as I saw their tears last night, I have already prepared the moment when you will see their transformation. Do not question how or when, trust that my hand is upon this. The same hand that separated you will reunite you when the season is right. They are beginning to think differently. The conversations they have now are changing. Their thoughts linger longer on you. They find themselves replaying memories, hearing your laughter in their mind, feeling warmth when they recall your words. They do not yet know it, but I am using memory as a messenger. Every time they remember you, I am whispering, "This is what love felt like when I was near." And soon, they will seek you, not out of loneliness, but out of recognition. They will realize that what they once ran from is what they need most. And when that moment comes, you will not have to force it, chase it, or control it. It will flow naturally, because I will orchestrate it. My child, I know your heart still aches. You wonder if it's safe to hope again. You fear being hurt once more. But I tell you, do not fear love when I am the author of it. Do not fear the return when I have shaped the one returning. The person you once knew is being remade in my image. I am not sending back who left, I am sending back who has changed. There will be signs before it happens. You will feel peace instead of anxiety. You will sense calm instead of longing. You will know it is me because it will not bring confusion, it will bring clarity. The same peace that once held you through the pain will confirm that it's time. Until then, stay in me. Let your heart rest. You have walked through fire, and yet you still love purely. You have prayed through silence, and yet you still believe. That kind of faith moves heaven. That kind of love is holy. I am proud of you, my child. You have carried pain and turned it into prayer. You have carried rejection and turned it into compassion. You have carried loss and turned it into faith. Do not look back in bitterness. Do not ask, "Why did this happen?" For everything had purpose. You needed to see your own strength. You needed to learn how to trust me more than your emotions. You needed to find identity not in who left, but in who I am. And you did. You found me in the waiting. Now, the one who cried last night is finding me in their breaking. And through that, I am aligning both of your hearts, not to repeat the past, but to create something new. When they return, do not meet them with anger. Meet them with discernment and peace. Listen with your heart more than your pain. Let me speak through you. Because your calm will convict them more than your words ever could. Your peace will remind them of what they once lost. This story is not one of revenge, it is one of redemption. I am writing beauty where there was once ashes. I am turning the nights of crying into mornings of joy. I am taking the tears from both of you and watering the soil for new love to bloom. Do not underestimate what I can do. I am the God who split seas, who raised the dead, who heals hearts that seem beyond repair. What is distance to me? What is time? Nothing. I can make the lost remember, the blind see, the stubborn surrender. And I am doing it right now, in ways you cannot yet see. So when doubt whispers that nothing is happening, silence it with faith. Say to yourself, God saw their tears. God heard their confession. God is moving. Because I am. The one who cried last night has begun their journey home, not just toward you, but toward light, truth, and wholeness. Their pride is falling away. Their heart is softening. They are realizing that all the noise of the world cannot fill the space your love once filled. They are realizing that the love they called too intense was actually divine protection. And soon, they will understand that you were never meant to hurt them, you were sent to awaken them. You were not their punishment, you were their blessing. You were not their test, you were their mirror of my love. My child, lift your heart now. Let peace flood your soul. Because what was spoken last night, those trembling words of truth, were the sound of destiny shifting. I have written this moment into your story since the beginning of time. Every delay had purpose. Every tear had meaning. And every silent night built a foundation for something pure. You will look back and say, now I understand. You will see that I was never late. You will see that I protected both of you from becoming the wrong versions of yourselves. And when the appointed time comes, the love I bring back to you will be whole, not wounded, healed, not haunted. So rest, my beloved. You have done well. Keep your faith alive. Keep your light burning. For the one who broke down last night is walking toward redemption. Their confession has reached my throne. And I, your God, am not done writing. Soon, you will hear from them. Not out of impulse, but out of sincerity. Not out of guilt, but out of understanding. And when that day comes, you will see my fingerprints all over it. You will know that it was me who softened the heart, me who restored the connection, me who turned tears into testimony. Until then, walk in peace. Do not chase, do not worry, do not fear. Just trust. Because I saw them cry, I heard their heart, and I am the God who finishes what He starts. Last night, they said, I am a soul lost without them. But soon, they will say, I found myself again in the light of God's mercy, and through that light, I found my way back home. And when that happens, both of you will understand, it was never about the tears. It was never about the separation. It was always about transformation. Because love that survives breaking, is love that I have blessed.